Alright, here's a quick tip for you. So this is a Torque Master lower unit, and so the way, you got your prop, the way the prop goes on, there's a hub, and then your prop goes on, and then you got a couple washers and a nut. So I don't know, some people probably know this and give me grief for it. Here's the nut, which it looks pretty bad, and I'll need to maybe replace it. Probably a good idea to replace it every few years. Alright, so these are the 3 washers. Now if you look at this real close, you can see the middle washer. See how there's a little bit of, you can really see it on this side, but you can see it on that side too. It's beveled, and it's what they call a Belleville washer, right? So the way this goes on next to your prop, and then you're going to have this Belleville washer. If you looked at it just like that, you can see that it's slightly beveled. So if you had the washer like this, it would probably work. But you can see now they lay more flat, and the bevel's against there, right? And it would probably work. But if you had it like this, then you can see they're both flat, and it's not really gonna do what it's supposed to do. If you do it like that, you can see that it's got a gap, pressure down, and it might maybe work, but eventually that nut or whatever is going to loosen up. It's not going to lock. This is the whole deal, getting your hub to lock, because that washer, see, if you look at it, even in that way, it's the bevel is sort of down. So what you want to do is check this and make sure that your bevel, because if you look at that washer, it's flat. And if you look, this is a little slightly smaller washer. So now if you look at that, you can see the bevel, and it's kind of pushing up. It's kind of pointing upwards. And what you want is the bevel to be this way, so it's pointing up, or I mean down. This is the proper. Did I do that right? So it's really hard to see, but you can see how on the bottom, see how now it's, and like I said, I don't have really good eyes, but you can see there's a bevel. So you want the bevel to be like this when it goes onto the prop. So you just need to look when you do it. I think it goes that way. Like I said, it's hard to see through the camera. See how the bevel is sort of pointing like it's cupped this way. So when you get your nut and you tighten it down to what it should be, it's going to push that washer down and flatten it out, and then it locks. So that Belleville washer is acting like a lock. And I guess it would cup enough that it would allow the prop not to take a major hit. So you wouldn't damage your prop. So when it hits something, it would spin that washer. This is again my theory. Spin the washer instead of keeping your prop spinning. So anyway, just a little tip. Just thought I would share that with you because I had a couple of different times where I took it out on the water, and then it seemed like it wasn't doing right. Like it just didn't seem like the hub was grabbing. So these aren't a rubber in the hub. It's like mine's I guess I should share with you what kind of prop I got, because that's important. So this is just a Tempest, not a Fury. It's like, so here's the hub. So, it goes in like, it goes down the spline, and then, this is going to go in like so. This sits against the lower unit, and then here's your assembly on the inside, and as you can tell, there's a little bit of gap, so that that washer, the big washer, goes really against the prop itself. So this is made so that if something happened, like I said, you hit something, then this prop wouldn't get damaged. And this prop is still in great shape. Probably needs to be, I got a couple little small spots, probably needs to be taken and have a service done on it. But I wanted to get it off and check my lower unit oil, and once you check the lower unit oil, then you got to put it back on. So you want to put it back on correctly. And anyway, that's my little tidbit, and hope everybody's doing great and having a good summer, catching some good fish and enjoying being out on the lake. So have a good one.
I used to hear 'em talk